Captain Rian sat alone inside his small cargo ship. Outside the windows was only dark space and cold stars. The ship made soft humming sounds as it moved slowly through the empty zone. Rian was tired. He had been flying for many weeks without talking to another human. He liked silence, but sometimes silence felt heavy like a stone on his chest. Then the alarm rang. Object detected, unidentified, distance 500 meters, the ship's AI voice said. Rian sat up quickly. He looked at the screen. A small object was spinning in space. It looked like a broken escape pod. An escape pod here? This far from any colony? Rian whispered. He turned his ship and moved closer. The pod had many cracks. No lights, no signal, just cold metal floating like a dead thing. Rian grabbed the controls. Docking arm ready. Let's see who you are. The docking arm pulled the pod inside his cargo bay. The pod door was half open, stuck by frozen metal. Rian forced it open with a heavy wrench. Cold gas hissed out. Inside, he saw something. Someone. It was a girl. But she was not human. She was small and thin. Her skin was hidden under thick black dirt, like oil or melted plastic. Her hair was tangled and stiff. She lay very still, her chest moving only a little. Her lips were cracked and dry. Ryan's heart started beating fast. He had never seen an alien like her before. He had only heard stories. AI scan her, he said. Warning, unknown biological life form, status critical, body temperature low, breathing weak. She's alive, Rian said quietly. He lifted her gently and carried her to the med bay. Her body was very light, almost like dry bones under thin skin. The black dirt felt sticky and cold like ice. He placed her on the med table. He connected oxygen to her nose and started the heater. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, she moved. Her fingers twitched. Her head turned. Ned slowly. Her eyelids opened halfway. Her eyes were dark, almost black. She looked at him, and she spoke. Her voice was broken and soft like dry leaves. If you wash me and make me clean, she whispered, I will bear you, strong children, human. Then her eyes closed again. Rian froze. His hands stopped moving. What did you just say? He whispered. No answer. She was unconscious again. Rian stepped back. His mind raced. Was she real? Was he dreaming? He looked at her body again. The black dirt was not just dirt. It was moving. Tiny lines of it shifted slowly, like worms. Suddenly the ship AI spoke again. Alert. Unknown nano-organisms detected. High risk. Recommend quarantine. Rian's chest felt cold. He had brought a dangerous thing into his ship. Should he eject her into space before she infects the ship? Or should he save her? He walked around the med table slowly. The black dirt seemed alive. It pulsed like a weak heartbeat. But her face under the dirt looked young, fragile, almost human. Rian touched his own chest. His heart was still racing. He remembered the way her voice had sounded. Not like a threat, like a beg. If you wash me and make me clean. Rian bit his lip. He turned on the med scanner again. The screen showed strange shapes inside her blood. Dark shadows like claws, and behind the shadows, tiny lights trying to shine, but trapped. Rian spoke quietly to himself. She is fighting something. Maybe this dirt is killing her. He stepped back and stared at her for a long moment. The hum of the ship filled the silence. Then the lights flickered. The dirt on her arm shifted fast like it felt something. Power fluctuation detected, the AI said. Is she doing that? Rian said. The dirt moved again. It crawled like black ants. Rian's hands trembled. What are you? He whispered. The alien girl did not answer. She only breathed slowly, fighting for life. Outside the ship window, a small star blinked like an eye. Rian looked at her one last time and then spoke to himself. If I do nothing, she will die. If I help, maybe I die. He looked at her face again. I can't leave you like this. Rian walked to the med locker and pulled out a bottle of sterilizing gel. He stood beside her bed. His hand hovered over her black dirt-covered arm. His breath was slow, and then he touched her. The black dirt hissed. It pulled away from his glove like it hated the gel. Small pieces fell to the floor and melted into smoke. Rian's eyes went wide. She's not dirt. It's alive, he whispered. The alien girl made a weak sound. Not pain. Relief. Rian kept cleaning, slow and careful. The black dirt screamed in silence, shrinking away. Bit by bit, clean, pale skin appeared under the black layer. Her skin glowed faintly like soft crystal light. Ryan's hands shook, but he kept going. He had started something now. He could not stop. As the last bit of black dirt fell away from her face, the ship lights flickered again. Her eyes opened. They were glowing silver. She looked at him. "You touched me without fear," she said softly. "Now our bond has begun." Then the lights went out. Darkness filled the ship. Only the soft glow from her silver eyes gave light to the medbay. Captain Rian stood still. He could not breathe. His hands were still wet with black dust that was now smoke on the floor. The girl looked at him without blinking. Her glowing eyes were calm, too calm. "You touched me without fear," she said. "Now our bond has begun." Her voice was soft, but inside it was something strange, like many voices hidden under one. Then the lights flickered again and returned. The ship hummed back to life. The air filters whispered softly. Rian stepped back. "Bond?" he asked. "What bond?" But the girl closed her eyes again. Her body went limp. She had used her last bit of energy just to speak. The ship's AI spoke. "Warning, energy surge detected. Subject body cell. Are releasing unknown radiation." Ryan swallowed hard. "She will die if I stop now. And maybe I die if I continue." He stared at her glowing skin under the black remains. Her skin looked alive, like moonlight frozen into flesh. Ryan took a deep breath and spoke to himself. "I started this. I must finish it." He put on his protective suit and gloves again. He opened another bottle of sterilizing gel. This time, he moved faster. He placed warm lights above her table. As he cleaned the rest of her body, the black dirt fought back. It writhed and hissed without sound. It crawled toward his gloves, trying to bite the fabric. It burned small holes, but Ryan ignored the pain and kept going. One by one, the black pieces fell and dissolved into smoke. The smell was sharp, like burning metal and old blood. Under the black shell, her body looked like a map of stars. Pale skin with thin glowing lines moving under it, like silver rivers. Ryan's heartbeat was loud in his ears. His breath fogged his helmet glass. Then something strange happened. As he removed the last patch of black from her chest, his wrist screen beeped. Energy levels rising. His ship's battery gauge jumped upward. "Impossible," Ryan whispered. "She's charging the ship?" The lights above them became bright like a white sun. Her silver eyes opened again. This time they were brighter, like hot metal. She sat up slowly. The med table creaked under her. Rian stepped back. Stay down. Don't move yet." She tilted her head. Her voice was clear now, smooth like water. "You freed me from the shadow shell. You broke the prison." "I only cleaned you," Rian said, his voice shaking. She touched her own arm. The glowing lines under her skin pulsed. "You washed away the death. No human has done this before." Ryan stared. "What are you?" She looked into his eyes. "I am called Lyra. My people, we Zimbier, were once bright like suns. Now we are fading. The shadow spores cover us, eat us, turn us into hollow things." Her voice trembled. For a moment she looked almost human, just sad and tired. Rian slowly lowered his gloves. "You said something before. About bearing strong children?" Lyra nodded slowly. "Yes, when one of us is freed from the shadow, we can pass our strength to a bonded one. The bond chooses itself. You touched me without fear, so the bond chose you." Ryan blinked. "Bonded? To me?" She nodded. "Our energy will live inside your blood. It will wait. When you create life, that life will carry our strength. Half human, half starborn." Ryan felt dizzy. "That sounds impossible." "Impossible is only a word for things you have not seen yet," Lyra said gently. Before Ryan could answer, the ship AI interrupted. "Alert. Unknown signal detected. Multiple vessels approaching." Rian turned to the screen. 3 red dots were moving fast toward them. Lyra's glowing eyes narrowed. "Shadow hunters. They followed my scent." "Your scent?" "They hunt those who break free from the spores. They will not stop." The red dots grew larger on the radar. "Distance 20,000 kilometers and closing fast," said the AI. Rian's chest tightened. "I can't fight 3 ships. My cargo ship has no guns." Lyra stood from the med table. Her feet touched the floor softly. She was weak, but glowing. "You do not need guns. I can protect us." Rian stared at her thin body. "You can't even stand straight." "I will stand when I must," she said, and her silver eyes flashed like lightning. Suddenly, the lights on the ship surged brighter again. The engines hummed like wild animals. Rian looked at the power gauge. It was rising fast, higher than it had ever gone. "You're powering my ship," he said in shock. Lyra nodded. "I share my life. That is what bond means." Rian looked at the approaching enemy ships. His heart pounded. "AI, prepare for emergency jump," he said. "Warning, jump drive needs 90 seconds to charge." Lyra walked slowly to the front window. Outside, the stars seemed to bend around her light. "They are close," she whispered. "They smell my freedom." Ryan gripped the controls. Sweat ran down his back. "Then we run before they catch us." The ship shook. Alarms screamed. "Impact in 30 seconds, said the AI. Rian shouted, "Hold on!" Lyra raised her glowing hands. Sparks danced between her fingers like silver fire. Outside the window, 3 black ships appeared from the dark. Their shapes were broken like bones floating in shadows. Rian's eyes went wide. "What are they?" Lyra's voice was calm. "They are what we become, if we stay dirty." Then her silver light exploded, filling the whole ship with white fire, and the black ships screamed. Light exploded across the void. Captain Rian's eyes burned as white fire filled the ship. Every screen went blank. For one heartbeat, he thought they were dead. Then, silence. The ship floated in stillness. The hum of the engines faded into a slow whisper. Rian blinked. The enemy ships were gone. Not destroyed. Simply gone, like shadows erased by the sun. He turned toward Lyra. She stood near the window, glowing bright like liquid silver. Her silver fire dimmed slowly, fading back into her pale crystal skin. Her chest rose and fell fast. Her legs trembled. Ryan ran to her. "Lyra, are you—" She raised her hand. "I am not broken, only tired." Ryan looked out at the empty black space where the hunters had been. "What did you do?" "I pushed them into the hollow," Lyra said softly. "A place between light and shadow. They will crawl back, but not soon." Rian stared at her. "You can do this? Just burn space?" "I can while the bond feeds me," she said, eyes half closed. "But power is not free. It takes pieces of my soul. And now, small pieces of yours." Rian froze. "Mine?" She nodded. "Bond means shared life. When I fight, your strength flows into me." Ryan touched his chest. His heart was still fast. He suddenly felt cold sweat on his back. He understood. He had given her part of his life without knowing. Rian walked to the console and checked the jump drive. It was charged now. "AI," he said, "find the fastest route back to the Terran border." "Route calculated," the AI replied. "Travel time, 19 days. Rian stared at the screen, then looked back at Lyra. 19 days, with her on board. "Lyra," he said slowly, "we can go back to human space. My people can help you." Lyra shook her head gently. Her silver hair moved like water. "No, Rian, your people will cut me open to see what glows inside. They will lock me in glass and call me treasure." Her voice was calm, but her eyes were sad. "I have seen what humans do to strange things." Rian stayed quiet. He knew she might be right. Lyra stepped closer. Her light was dim now, soft like moonlight. "My people are dying. We once walked like stars. We built suns and sang to planets. Now we hide in broken shells covered in shadow spores." "Those black things," Rian said. "Yes, they are alive. They eat our light. When we are fully covered, we forget who we are. We become hunters like the ones who chased us. Empty, cruel, only hunger." Ryan felt a weight in his chest. "How many of your kind are left?" "A few, hidden deep under the dark crust of our world. Too weak to rise, too scared to move." She touched his arm. "If we cleanse them, they can be saved." Ryan blinked. "Cleanse them, like I did to you?" She nodded. "Yes, one touch of fearless hands. Your human hands are different. The spores fear your heat." "My heat?" "Your life. It burns bright. Brighter than ours now." Ryan shook his head. "I'm just a cargo pilot. I move rocks between moons. I'm nobody." "To you, maybe," Lyra said softly. "But to my people, you are hope." Her silver eyes locked on his. "Come with me to my world. Help me save them. If we do not act soon, the spores will win." Ryan looked at her glowing eyes, then at the stars outside. "Go to an known dead world, against creatures that eat light." It sounded like suicide. Before he could answer, the ship shuddered. "AI," Ryan said. "Report. Warning, fuel loss detected. Hull breach in cargo bay." Ryan ran to the back. A small crack had opened in the outer wall, maybe from the hunter attack. Atmosphere hissed out. He sealed it with foam and returned to the bridge. When he came back, Lyra was staring at the stars with a distant look. "You are afraid," she said without looking at him. "Of course I'm afraid," Ryan replied. "Everything about this is insane." "Fear is not weakness," she said. "Fear means you know the price. Bravery is paying it anyway." Ryan looked at her long and hard. She was strange, dangerous, beautiful, sad. She had asked him to risk everything, for people he had never seen, but he remembered her words in the med bay. "If you wash me and make me clean, I will bear you strong children." Maybe children didn't only mean blood. Maybe it meant something bigger, a future, a legacy, a spark of human fire mixed with starlight. Ryan turned back to the console. The course to human space was waiting, so safe, so small. He closed the map. "AI," he said quietly, "set a new course." "Destination?" the AI asked. Ryan looked at Lyra. She stood tall now, silver lines glowing again under her skin like a rising dawn. "Her world," Ryan said. Lyra's eyes brightened. A soft smile touched her lips, the first smile he had seen. "Then we begin," she said. The stars outside shifted as the ship turned. Somewhere ahead, in the dark space where no human had gone, waited a dying world covered in shadow, and Ryan was flying straight into it. Stars slid past the ship like cold sparks as it crossed the black edge of known space. Captain Ryan sat in the pilot seat, staring at the endless dark. He had chosen this path. There was no turning back now. Behind him, Lyra stood silent near the medbay door. Her silver glow was softer now, like moonlight seen through clouds. She watched the stars, but her eyes were distant, heavy with old memories. "How far is your world?" Ryan asked quietly. "Close now," Lyra replied, "but you will not see it until we are almost there. The spores hide it." Ryan frowned. "Hide it? How can spores hide a planet?" "They drink light," Lyra said. "They wrap our world in shadow. From far away it looks like empty space." Ryan shook his head slowly. He had flown for years, and he had never heard of something that could drink light. The ship's AI interrupted. "Object detected. Large mass ahead. No reflection. No light." Ryan leaned forward. On the screen, blackness moved inside blackness. A round void where stars disappeared. Lyra's voice dropped to a whisper. "Home." As the ship came closer, the shape of a planet appeared, but it was not like any planet Ryan had ever seen. It was covered in crawling darkness. Giant black waves rolled across its surface like slow storms. No sunlight touched the ground. The whole world looked dead and alive at the same time. Ryan's skin crawled. His mouth went dry. "This is where you came from. This is what it became," Lyra said. Her voice shook just a little. "Long ago, it shone brighter than your Earth. Now, it only eats." The ship began to tremble as it entered the upper air of the planet. Black mist curled across the glass like smoke fingers. "AI, scan atmosphere," Ryan said. "Warning," the AI replied. "Air is toxic. Spore density, extreme. Visibility, near zero." The ship dove lower. The ground appeared. Broken towers, cracked domes, and shattered roads. Once it might have been beautiful. Now it was only bones wrapped in darkness. Then something moved. Ryan saw shapes crawling across the ruins. Long, thin bodies made of black mist, with sharp claws and no faces. They slithered like broken shadows. Lyra's eyes went hard. "Hunters. Like the ones that attacked us?" "Yes, my people who lost their ligshops." "Hector." Ryan felt his heart hammering. Are they alive?" "In body, not in soul." They landed on a flat stone platform broken with cracks. Dust rose around the ship like gray ghosts. Ryan grabbed his helmet and gloves. "How do we do this? How do we save anyone here?" Lyra walked to the airlock door. She stood very straight, her silver glow brightening with each breath. "We go below," she said, "deep under the crust. The last living ones hide there, but the hunters guard the paths." The airlock opened. A wave of cold hit them, like stepping into a grave. Black mist curled around their feet. They stepped out. The silence outside was thick. No wind, no sound, only soft cracks as black crust moved under their boots. Ryan looked at the ruined city around them. The buildings were melted into strange shapes, as if the spores had eaten not only stone, but memory. "Stay close," Lyra whispered. Her silver light pushed the black mist back, leaving a small circle of clear space around them. They walked through broken arches and dead streets until they found a wide hole in the ground. A long stair spiraled down into darkness. "This way," Lyra said. They began to descend. The deeper they went, the warmer the air became. The walls pulsed faintly like living skin. Black veins crawled across the stone, moving slowly as if watching them. Rian's breathing grew loud inside his helmet. Sweat ran down his neck. He whispered, "This place is wrong." Lyra said nothing. Her jaw was tight. Her eyes glowed brighter, cutting through the dark. Then they heard it. A sound like dry leaves scratching stone. From below, pale lights flickered. Then shadows moved. Hunters. Dozens of them crawled up the stairs like a black river. Their bodies were thin, twisted, and faceless. Their claws clicked on the stone. Ryan froze. "There's too many." Lyra stepped in front of him, her hands lifted. Silver fire crackled around her fingers. The hunters hissed, their bodies shuddered as the light touched them. "Stay behind me," Lyra said. Her voice was sharp now, like ringing metal. Then she moved. Her silver fire exploded, forming a shining wave that rolled down the stairs. It hit the hunters like sunlight burning through paper. They screamed with no mouths. Their black bodies melted into smoke. But more came. Hundreds. Thousands. The stairway shook under their weight. Rian grabbed Lyra's arm. "We can't fight all of them." "We don't," she said, breathing fast. "We pass through." She slammed her glowing hand against the wall. The stone cracked. A hidden door opened, made of light. Behind it was a tunnel glowing faint blue. "Go!" Lyra shouted. Rian ran through the glowing door. Lyra followed, and the door sealed behind them. The sounds of hunters faded, trapped outside. Ryan fell to his knees, gasping. "What is this place?" Lyra stood in the glowing tunnel, her face pale but her eyes fierce. "This is the path of roots. It leads to the heart." "The heart?" Ryan asked. "The last light of my people," she whispered, "if it still lives." Ryan stood slowly. His legs were shaking. He looked down the long, glowing tunnel stretching into the earth. He knew there was no way back now. They were going deeper, straight into the center of this cursed planet, where something waited in the dark, something older than fear. The tunnel sloped down for hours. Captain Ryan walked behind Lyra through the glowing passage. The walls pulsed with soft blue light, like veins under pale skin. Every step echoed like a whisper in a giant throat. The air was warm and dry now. The black mist from above did not reach here. It felt like they had stepped into a hidden world, untouched by time. "How far does this go?" Rian asked, voice low. "Deep," Lyra said. Her voice was steady, but her eyes were sharp, watching every shadow. "The spores never reach the heart. Not yet." "Why not?" "Because the heart still burns," she whispered. "Light feet rightens them." Ryan looked at her silver glow. "Like you." She did not answer. She only walked faster. Soon the tunnel opened into a huge cavern. Ryan stopped walking. His mouth fell open. Before him stretched an underground world. Glowing rivers of silver light crossed black stone like shining snakes. Giant crystals rose from the ground, each one pulsing faintly like a heartbeat. The ceiling was lost in darkness high above, but tiny floating lights drifted there like lost stars. And in the center stood a massive tree made of light. Its roots were thick beams of silver wrapped around the black rock. Its trunk rose like frozen lightning, and its branches reached toward the cavern roof, shining with soft white fire. It was beautiful, more beautiful than anything Ryan had seen in his whole life. "The heart," Lyra said softly. Her voice broke. She walked forward slowly, like someone stepping into a dream. Ryan followed, staring. "It's alive." "Yes," Lyra whispered. "It holds the last living spark of my people." As they moved closer, Ryan saw figures lying around the base of the tree. Dozens. No, hundreds. Thin, alien bodies like Lyra's, but dull and gray, their glow almost gone. They were breathing, barely. They looked like dying candles. Rian's stomach tightened. "They're still alive?" "Barely," Lyra said. She knelt beside one of them, a tall figure with silver hair turned gray. She touched his hand. "Father," she whispered. His eyelids opened a little. His eyes were dim. He stared at her, unseeing. "They are trapped," Lyra said quietly. "The spores sleep inside them, eating their light slow. Ryan crouched beside her. Can we clean them like I cleaned you? Lyra nodded slowly. Yes, but it will be harder. They are almost gone. She looked at him, eyes sharp. I cannot do it alone. The bond must help. Rian pointed at his chest. Me? Yes. Wait, and you touched me without fear. The bond awoke. It will carry my light through your hands. Rian's heart thumped. And if I fail? They die, she said simply. And you may die too. Rian swallowed hard. He looked at the silent gray figures, at their fading light. Something in him shifted. Fear was still there, but now there was anger too. I didn't come all this way to watch them die, he said. Lyra nodded once. She stood and reached her glowing hand to him. Then join your light with mine. Ryan hesitated only a second, then took her hand. It was warm, too warm. The warmth rushed up his arm, into his chest, into his heart. Light exploded behind his eyes. Suddenly he was not standing on stone. He was standing in a sky of silver. Stars spun around him like sparks. 1,000 voices whispered through him. He felt her, Lyra, inside his mind, like a soft wind. Do not fear, her voice said inside his skull. The spores will smell fear. Burn them with calm. Then the vision shattered. He was back in the cavern. His hands glowed like fire. Lyra's eyes were bright as suns. Choose one, she said. Ryan knelt beside a gray figure. He touched its chest. Cold. Empty. He closed his eyes. He remembered Lyra's words. Burn them with calm. He breathed slow. Light flowed from his hands. It crawled into the alien's chest. The body arched. Black mist burst from its mouth like smoke. The cavern air hissed. Then, the gray skin turned pale. Faint silver lines appeared. The alien opened its eyes, bright and alive. It gasped, like someone waking from drowning. Ryan stumbled back, shaking. It worked. Lyra smiled, soft and shining. Again. They worked for hours. Ryan touched one after another, pushing light through his shaking hands. Each time, black smoke screamed out, and the glow returned to another dying body. His vision blurred. His arms felt heavy like iron. Sweat ran down his face. Lyra supported him when he almost fell. Hold on, Rian. How? Many left, he panted. Just one more, she whispered. They knelt beside her father. He was still and cold. Will he live? Rian asked. Lyra's eyes were wet. If you give him all you have. Ryan nodded once. He pressed his hands on the old alien's chest. He pushed everything. His light, his strength, his fear, his hope, all of it. Something cracked inside him like breaking glass. Black fire poured from the old alien's body, roaring like a beast. Ryan screamed. His body shook. He saw stars exploding behind his eyes. Then it was gone. Silence. The old alien opened his eyes. They glowed silver. He breathed deep, alive. Ryan collapsed to the floor. Lyra caught him. Rian, breathe. His vision swam. Did it work? Yes, she said, smiling and crying at once. You saved them. Around them, the cavern glowed brighter. The giant tree of light burned like a new sun. The air felt alive. Rian lay on the cold stone, shaking, smiling weakly. Lyra looked at the waking faces of her people. She whispered, the light lives again. But far above, deep in the black crust of the planet, something ancient stirred. The spores had felt the change, and they were coming. Ryan woke to the sound of the cavern shaking. He sat up fast. The light tree still glowed bright in the center of the cavern, but the air around it rippled like hot waves. Crystals were trembling. Dust fell from the black ceiling. Lyra stood on a high rock, staring upward. Her silver hair floated as if pulled by invisible wind. Her people were behind her, weak but glowing again. They whispered to each other, confused and afraid. What's happening? Ryan shouted. They felt it, Lyra said without looking at him. The spores, they know the heart burns again. Ryan stood, his legs still shook, but his mind was clear. They're coming. Yes, she whispered. All of them. The first crack split the cavern roof. A long black line opened in the stone like a wound. A hiss rose from it, soft and momody. Tea first, then growing, like boiling water. Then they came. Thousands of black specks poured from the crack like smoke alive. They moved like a river of night, a twisting and writhing in the air. Each speck had tiny legs like a spider. and tiny eyes glowing sick green. Ryan's stomach turned cold. So many. Lyra's father stepped forward, tall and glowing faintly. Children, form the circle, he said. His voice was calm but heavy. The light must stand. Lyra called to her people in her strange singing language. They gathered around the heart tree, forming a wide ring. Their bodies shone like silver flames in the dark. Ryan stood beside Lyra. He pulled his small plasma pistol from his belt. It suddenly felt like a toy against a hurricane. Will this even work? He asked. Only if your heart is strong, Lyra said. She touched his chest with glowing fingers. Do not let fear open the door. The black swarm fell on them like night. They hissed and screamed in high voices, scratching the air like claws on glass. The air turned cold. The crystals dimmed. Ryan fired. Bolts of blue plasma tore through the swarm, burning holes of light. Spores shrieked and exploded in black dust, but more came, endless, crawling over each other, forming huge shapes like black waves. Lyra lifted both hands. White fire roared from her palms. The front line of spores burned and burst. Her eyes glowed like small suns. Her people sang, high, sharp notes. Lines of light rose from their feet and connected them like a glowing web. The circle shone brighter. Ryan fought like he had never fought before. He ducked, rolled, fired again and again. Spores crawled on his arms, biting cold. He screamed and smashed them off. Lyra spun beside him, her light cutting black shapes in half. Still they came. They want the heart, Ryan shouted. They want all light, Lyra answered. They will not stop. Suddenly the cavern floor cracked open. A huge shadow rose. A monster made of thousands of spores fused together. It had no real shape, just a mountain of black slime with burning green eyes. It opened a mouth full of screaming. The shockwave threw Ryan across the floor. He hit stone hard. His pistol slid away. Ryan! Lyra cried. He forced himself up, coughing. His chest burned. The giant spore beast crushed toward the heart tree. Every step shook the world. Lyra stood in its path, alone. She shone brighter, pulling light from the circle into herself. Her whole body turned to blinding white fire. No! Ryan yelled, stumbling toward her. You'll burn yourself! She looked at him once. Her face was calm and sad. If the heart dies, everything dies. Then she launched herself at the monster. White fire smashed into black mass. The cavern exploded with light and shadow. The spore beast screamed, a sound like knives on stone. Black pieces blew off and turned to dust. But its main body stayed, swallowing her light. Ryan ran. He grabbed his fallen pistol but knew it was useless. He thought of their bond, how he had cleaned her, how he had saved her people. Light can flow through me. He jumped. He landed on the monster's back. The black slime burned his skin like ice. He slammed both hands deep into it. Take it, he screamed. Light blasted from his body. Every bone felt like fire. His vision turned white. The beast roared. Cracks of silver ripped through its black mass. Lyra's fire flared with his. Together their light became a storm. The spore beast tore apart. It collapsed into dust and wind. The swarm screamed in terror and broke. Thousands of black specks fled up through the cracks into the darkness above. Silence crashed down. Ryan fell to his knees. His hands smoked. His breath came in ragged gasps. Lyra knelt in front of him, glowing soft and trembling. You mad, shining human, she whispered. She touched his face gently. You gave more than you had. Was it enough? He gasped. For now, she said. Around them, her people slowly lowered their arms. The circle faded, leaving only soft silver glows on their skin. The heart tree still burned strong, light pulsing steady. They had won. But Ryan's eyes lifted to the black cracks in the cavern roof. The spores were gone, but not destroyed. They'll come back, he said quietly. Lyra nodded. Yes, and stronger. Her father stepped forward. His voice was grave. We must leave this place. We must carry the heart to the stars. The planet is dying. Ryan stared at the glowing tree. Carry that? Yes, Lyra said. She smiled faintly. And you will help us. Far above, deep in the black clouds of the surface, the spores screamed and joined together. They had learned something new. Light can fight, so they would become darker. The cavern was silent. Too silent. Ryan stood on a high stone ledge, looking down at the glowing heart tree. Its white branches reached toward the cracked ceiling like frozen lightning. Lyra stood below, talking with her father and the other glowing aliens. Their voices were soft and serious. The spores had fled, but Ryan felt no peace. The silence was not safety. It was waiting. We can't stay here, he said quietly. Lyra's father looked up at him. His silver eyes were calm but heavy. You are correct, human. This world is falling. Then we move the heart, Lyra said. Her voice was steady, but her hands trembled. We take it to the stars. Ryan climbed down. It's huge. How do you even move it? Her father placed one glowing hand on the tree's trunk. The white fire rippled like water. It is alive. It will follow if we guide it. But we need power. More than we have. Ryan thought for a moment. Then he smiled weakly. We use my ship. Hours later, they stood at the mouth of the ancient tunnel. Ryan's small starship, the Wanderlight, sat outside on the black plain, its silver hull dented and scratched from the storm above. It looked tiny against the endless darkness. Behind them, the cavern shook as the heart began to move, its roots pulled free from the rock with long cracking sounds. The white trunk bent and twisted like something waking from a deep sleep. Glowing branches folded in on themselves, forming a sphere of shining light. Lyra's people sang. Their voices were high and soft, like bells underwater. The heart slowly lifted off the ground, floating above the stone floor like a newborn sun. Ryan's mouth hung open. It's flying. It trusts us, Lyra said simply. They guided the glowing sphere through the tunnels. The walls shook as they passed. Crystals cracked and fell. The black mist above hissed but did not come close to the light. Finally, they reached the surface. Cold wind slapped Ryan's face. The black clouds rolled low and heavy. Lightning crawled through them like white bones. The ground was cracked and lifeless. The heart floated above the mouth of the tunnel, shining bright against the black world. It looked wrong and beautiful. We must hurry, Lyra's father said. They are watching. Ryan ran to his ship and opened the cargo bay. The ramp creaked as it lowered. I've never carried a glowing tree soul before, he muttered. But climb aboard. Lyra smiled faintly. You are strange. The heart drifted into the Wanderlight's cargo bay. Its glow filled the whole ship. The controls flickered from the light like they were waking up. Ryan strapped himself into the pilot seat. Lyra sat beside him, still glowing softly. Everyone hold on, Ryan called. This might get rough. The engines roared. The ship lifted from the black plain, dust spinning below. Then the world screamed. Black clouds above tore open like ripped skin. A spiral of darkness poured down, screaming in 1,000 voices. The spores had returned. Not tiny specks this time. They had fused into long, snake-like shapes, twisting and biting the air. Their green eyes burned like 6 stars. Here we go, Ryan muttered. He slammed the throttle. The Wanderlight shot upward. The heart glowed brighter, as if it feared nothing. Spores dove from all sides, claws of shadow reaching. The ship twisted between them, rolling hard. Plasma bolts burst from its cannons. Green-black dust sprayed across the sky. The hull shook under sharp impacts. There are too many, Ryan shouted. Then burn brighter, Lyra cried. She grabbed his hand. Light burst from her into him. Ryan's vision exploded white. He felt the bond again. Her voice, her fire, her calm. The ship's controls glowed under his fingers. The Wanderlight became a comet. White fire streamed from its engines. The spores screamed and pulled away. They burned when they touched the trail of light. The ship shot higher, cutting through the black storm. Lightning exploded around them. The atmosphere thinned to nothing. Stars appeared like cold eyes. Then they were in space. Silence. Dark space stretched forever. The dead planet turned slowly below, wrapped in black clouds like a rotting fruit. Ryan's hands shook on the controls. His heart pounded. He laughed once, a dry sound. We made it. Not yet, Lyra said. He followed her gaze out the viewport. From the planet's far side, darkness moved. A shadow the size of mountains peeled off the surface. A colossal swarm shape, made of millions of spores. It had no body, just a rolling black storm with a green core like a burning eye. Ryan's smile died. Oh no. They became one, Lyra whispered. Her voice shook. They are learning. The heart glowed brighter in the cargo bay. Its light filled the ship like warm sun. Ryan felt its pulse in his bones. They want it, he said. They fear it, Lyra corrected. She touched the window with her hand. And they will chase us forever. Her father appeared behind them, tall and calm. Then we must not run. We must become what they fear. Ryan turned in his seat. What does that mean? It means, the old alien said, we will carry the heart into their darkness. Outside, the black swarm opened its green eye. It saw the small glowing ship. And it came.